Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kory and today is just a chatty catch-up video. I haven't been on YouTube in a hot minute, so I wanted to just check in and say hi and let you guys know what's been going on the past few weeks and yeah, catch you up on my plans for the next couple weeks. So before we go anywhere else, let's just talk about my hair. It's living its best free spirit life right now because I'm house sitting, so I don't have any like hair products with me. I don't even have a blow dryer with me right now, so it just is. It was up in a bun this morning, and now it's just like I don't even know what's happening anymore. But I'm kind of enjoying just like letting it do its thing. I was like, oh, I'll put it in a ponytail, and then it'll look like I purposefully made it kind of curly, and it'll be cute. And that's like not really cute, but that's okay. Um, so there's so much to catch you guys up on. Number one is probably, if you guys follow me on social media, you probably saw that I got to go to Rome, Italy, which was incredible. And that was kind of a whirlwind experience because we actually got to go, I went with my boyfriend, and we got to go through like a rewards program that his work does. He works for a tech company, and so they do like a big trip every year for employees who have reached certain goals. So we got to go on this trip. So we found out, I think, like 5 or 6 weeks before we were supposed to leave. So it was crazy because we like didn't barely even had time to think about it, and everything was kind of booked for us, which was really convenient in a way. But then it was also just kind of like we didn't really have to think about it until it was actually time to pack and go. So I feel like it kind of came and went without me really like processing the fact that we were going. But it was amazing. I've gotten to go to Rome before on a study abroad program that I did while I was in college, so it was really cool to get to go back for me and to see sites that I had gotten to see before, and just like notice things that I didn't notice the first time before. And then for the boyfriend, it was his first time going out of the country, so he got his passport for the trip, and it was fun to get to kind of like live like that first time experience vicariously through him and through his excitement. So that was really cool. And we traveled really well together, which is always, I think, a good thing to know about your partner because I've traveled with a lot of different people in my life, and I feel like who you're traveling with can make a travel experience 10 times better or 10 times worse, just depending on whether or not your travel styles mesh well together. And we had a lot of stress this trip just getting to Rome and then back from Rome because our flights got messed up both ways. And previously, when I had traveled internationally, I did a study abroad program where we were traveling on a ship. So I had never had to come back through US Customs through an airport because I came through a naval base, which is a very different experience, I learned. So the whole trip was a really big learning experience, but it was like part like big learning experience and big adventure, and then part amazing vacation. So it was perfect. And I'm so grateful. It was literally an opportunity that just kind of fell in our lap, which was really cool because I had been thinking a lot lately on the fact that I really needed to travel again and kind of was trying to like make plans for how I could make that happen in life. And then life was kind of like, here you go, here's a trip to Rome before you even expected it. So that was cool. So yeah, that was amazing. I'm sure there will be more pictures to come just because we have so many. I haven't even gone through my camera pictures yet. I have so many on my phone that I haven't even looked at camera pictures yet. So that was Rome. That was amazing. And then something a little bit heavier that I'm dealing with now that I am back in the States is that before I left for the States, I had started to kind of look into hormone health and the impact of your hormones on your body and just on your general health. Um, I'm going to talk about reproductive health and women's health and stuff like that for a few minutes here. So if you're watching this with little ones around, or if you're watching at work or something like that, maybe save this video for a little bit later. I'm not going to go into any super graphic details or anything like that, but just going to talk about reproductive health and stuff. So I have been on the birth control pill since I was really young, and I got put on it because I was having really bad PMS symptoms basically, and so we went into the doctor to see, what was going on, my mom and I went, and they basically were like, oh yeah, that's really typical. The best way to help with that is to just go on the pill because it'll take those symptoms away and it'll help regulate your cycle. So I never really questioned that and have been on the pill ever since. And it wasn't until recently when I started to hear not only like social media influencers, but also people that I'm close to start to talk about their reproductive health and their hormone health and just impacts that those things have had on their life that I started to think about my birth control method and the impact it has on my hormones and that kind of stuff. So I started doing some research into the effect of birth control, the birth control pill, and other forms of birth control, and all of that stuff. And basically came to the conclusion that I didn't want to make any changes before I left for this big international trip because I didn't know what the effect was going to be on my body, and I did not want to deal with any side effects or any weird changes happening while I was gone. So I kind of put it on the back burner. And now that I'm back in the States, it's coming back to the forefront, and I'm starting to do more research and gonna make some changes about how I'm managing my birth control. So I want to do a more in-depth video on that, talking about that. But if you guys have questions that you want to talk about, or if you have recommendations on research for hormones and hormone health and all of that that you want to share with me, I would love that. I've been asking for those recommendations on Instagram, so thank you guys who have submitted your favorite books and or videos and even podcasts. Those are awesome, and I've really started to dive into those, and I'm both fascinated and terrified by the world of hormones. So that's why I want to just kind of do I don't think I can really like cover that topic and my thoughts on it in this video because it's meant to just be a catch up with me. So yeah, that's what's going on with that. And then in terms of YouTube, I thought that life was going to just kind of settle back in when we got back from Rome, and it hasn't really, just because I've had a lot of house sitting gigs, which has been awesome, but like we were really just home for one weekend, just long enough to cure the jet lag, and then it was back to work, and now I'm house sitting this weekend, and then I have one night at my house and immediately go to another house sitting gig, and I'm there for a week. So my schedule has been kind of crazy, which has made it a little bit hard to film, but I have some videos that I actually filmed before we left for our trip that I want to put up this week, but it felt weird to like not post anything for a couple weeks and then just randomly come back with some like older filmed content. So I wanted to jump on and just kind of say hey, and I'm back, and thank you guys so much for all of the love on the recent posts that I've done on Instagram about hormone health and self-love and all that kind of stuff. It's been awesome. I will circle back really quickly to, I did an Instagram post on this, but there were several times while we were in Rome. It was so hot in Italy. I didn't even realize that Europe got that hot, much less Italy. I mean, this might be kind of like a ridiculous expectation, but I guess in my mind, because Italy is surrounded by water, I just thought that it would stay really cool, and it does not. It got broiling hot while we were there. It was still amazing, but we literally would like get up in the morning and like go to city center and try to do as many tourist sites as we could before it got crazy hot, and then we would come back to the hotel and like sleep and just hang out by the pool and just try to not melt for a few hours. And it was actually really nice that they don't do dinner until like 7:30 or 8 o'clock in Rome, because we would not have wanted to sit outside and eat dinner at 5 p.m. because it was still like 100 degrees outside. And that's Fahrenheit, not Celsius, thankfully. But yeah, so there were a lot of opportunities to be in a bathing suit, and I was really fearful of those moments when I first found out that we were going because, as I've shared with you guys, I just was not really feeling super confident with where I was in terms of my fitness and that kind of stuff. So it kind of took me by surprise because I've always thought of myself as being like a pretty body conscious and like body positive person. And so the fact that I immediately, when I found out that we were going on a vacation, like one of my first thoughts was, oh my God, I'm gonna have to wear a swimsuit. I was like, oh, I didn't realize that that was even going on with me. So yeah, but I think it was really helpful to do the kind of like body love, self-positive self-love stuff that I was doing here on YouTube. You know, I really participated in that and it helped me a lot. So I hope that some of you guys have found some help in that if self-love is something that you struggle with. And it was still hard. I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, I felt amazing in my bikini the entire time. But it was a lot easier than I thought it would be to just kind of forget about, you know, the standards of what you're supposed to look like in a bikini and just remind myself that, like, the whole point of being there and being in a swimsuit was to have fun and to enjoy the water and just enjoy life. So yeah, that was cool. That was definitely a triumphant moment for me to realize that I had gotten myself to a point where I was willing and able and comfortable enough in my own skin to just kind of enjoy vacation. Um, but I want to continue to do that. I think I've had kind of a moment lately where I realized that my physical fitness, even though I've still been exercising and taking care of my body, I haven't made fitness like a huge priority lately, just partially because I think, like I shared, I needed to kind of prioritize my mental health and my self-love and things like that first before I was ready to dive more into fitness. But I think I'm back in a place where I'm feeling good enough to focus a little bit more on fitness, so I want to start doing some more posts on that. I'm going to sign up for a race. I've done half marathons before and I want to do another one, so I'm going to pick one out and sign up for it and then just talk about the training process as I go through it, because I am not built to be a distance runner. I'm like I'm not even 5'3". I'm like 5'2" and a half, maybe. So I'm short and I put on muscle super fast. I was probably meant to be a sprinter, not a distance runner. So I put on muscle super fast. It's harder for me to build the lean muscle that you really need to go on longer distance runs. And it's also hard for me sometimes to maintain the body mass that is healthy for my body when I'm doing longer distance runs. But because I've trained for half marathons a couple of times now, I have a pretty good idea of what works for my body for those things. But I've never trained for a long race being vegan before. So this will be my first time on a totally vegan diet training. Which brings up another video topic that I want to do, which is that I totally broke my veganism while we were in Rome. Part of it was just because the food was amazing, but I probably could have resisted that and just stuck to vegan options. But part of it too was that we were on a pre-planned trip. So a lot of times we would find ourselves at these meals where these lovely Italian people had cooked these big catered meals for us and were bringing us our courses, and everybody's course was the same, obviously, because we were a big group. And it felt really rude, and I felt really uncomfortable in those moments saying, like, oh, no, thank you, I can't eat this because it has cream sauce or because it has bacon on it or whatever. So I just went for it. It made me really sick, obviously, to go from being vegan to go to eating creamy pasta with bacon on it. So I want to do a video on kind of what that was like and how I managed it, and then the transition coming back to the States and going back to being vegan. So again, if you guys have questions on that, let me know. So yeah, that's kind of a good like overview of what's been going on the past couple weeks and what's up with me, and also kind of a preview of content that I'm working on coming up. I'm working on getting back to a regular calendar schedule of content. So I want to go back to doing Tuesdays being kind of intro videos for Project Joy, and then Thursdays being kind of like action item videos, because I liked doing that format. I don't know if you guys did. And so yeah, so I'm going to try to do that. This week I'll probably post the older content that I filmed before I left, just to start to get some stuff back up there. After I post this video, I have a Lush haul about what I got before we left for Rome so that it was easy to travel with my shower essentials, and I loved everything I got, so I'm excited to show you guys that video because it was really helpful and I love those products. They're probably some of my new favorites from Lush. And then the other video that I shot was a video about what I do when I get a new essential oil to try, because I am on a program where you get basically like I get free essential oils with my order every month, and so it's a really great opportunity to learn about new essential oils and how to use them and things like that. And so I did a video on like what I do when I have a new oil to work into my routine and like how I learn about it and that kind of stuff. So if you like essential oils, then that video will be for you. And if you don't like essential oils, then you can just stick to the Lush haul video. Okay guys, I'm going to end the video here. One last note would be that I would love to hear from you guys. The last Project Joy episode was really all about planning as self-care and using a planner and getting organized and just prioritizing taking care of yourself in the way that you were like scheduling in time for yourself and stuff like that. So if you guys have updates on how that has gone, even if it's just saying, oh, I bought a planner and then I never used it, like I would love to hear from you guys how that went and whether or not you're using any of those things, because I need to get back into the swing of that now that I'm back in normal life. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. I can't wait to hear from all of you. I missed being here on YouTube, so I'm excited to be back. And yeah, I'll see you next week.